Let's see, keynotes by Intel, Microsoft, IBM. Let's see, what decade is this? Let's see. Is Node.js being adopted and really supported? Yeah, pretty well. All right, I want to talk to you about performance. It's something that really is kind of near and dear to our hearts at Intel. It's kind of what I say is sort of the core to Intel's DNA. It's something that's kind of amazing, the results we've had. I got an example I wanted to show about that, and it's partly because we get very serious about what performance impact has relative to the very structure of the microprocessor. So we have people who really understand this. Let me show you this example of Java. Last month at Java 1, we gave a keynote, and the Twitter VP of engineering came on stage with us and said, man, you guys are really doing great stuff with Java performance, 73x faster over the last 10 years. And that's both hardware changes and software changes we're actively involved with. But this is, okay, but Node.js is not Java, okay? Performance on Node is actually probably quite a bit better. So a lot of people move to Node because it's often considered much more scalable than Java and has many examples of that. So what's the role of doing performance work with Node.js? Well, we've heard from various core members of the community that there's kind of a concern that even though Node performs really well now, there's a concern that no one is kind of watching the performance over time. And there's a concern that performance can degrade as people add changes, they fix bugs, they work on security or various other issues, that the overall performance can decline if no one's watching it. So we would like to really help with this in a couple of ways, and I want to talk about three specific areas: lead, leap, and link. First of all, I want to talk about leadership. The whole area of leading, I mean, as far as open source is concerned, I think in my opinion, it's about servant leadership. We want to lead by serving the community in some critical areas. One of the things you can kind of think about with performance is, particularly with an active open source project like Node.js, the source is really changing every day, literally. And you can have an engineer, one of our engineers that works maybe, months to get like a 5% performance boost. Oh, this is awesome. And then somebody pulls in a pull request that lowers the performance by 10%. That's like incredibly frustrating. So what we really need is the ability to check the performance like a canary in the coal mine every day. And I'm really pleased under this area to announce the fact that we've added Node.js to our language's performance portal. So the performance portal is basically works like this. We download the Node.js sources every night. We build it, we benchmark it, and then we send the benchmark results out to the community via email, and we post it up on a website. So you can not only see on a day-to-day basis what's going on in terms of performance, but we're also trying to really jump very aggressively on issues when we see a performance regression. An example of this came a couple of months ago. There's one particular workload called index buffer of. I probably got the name wrong. Anyway, but we saw a 20% performance regression in one patch. So we had an engineer jump on that, trying to analyze what was going on and then start clawing back that performance regression so we wouldn't have that performance issue. So now that's a little micro workload. One of the things, and by the way, you can go to languagesperformance.intel.com right away and see what we've been tracking in the Node area, as well as a few of the other languages we work on, open source languages. But one of the other challenges you have when you're working on performance with something like Node is you don't have something that really represents a complex web application, right? So we're actually working in that area as well. We have something we call Node.DC, which is a complex web application, fully open source, that lets you take a look at how Node is performing. And so as the software updates or you evaluate different software options, you can actually see kind of a representative sample of how performance should work. So this is done in collaboration with one of those boxes that Michael was showing on the right-hand side of the governance, the benchmarking committee. So we're working with that group collaboratively with a bunch of other developers and organizations to make that a great workload. And it really tries to model a lot of different areas that people are using today in terms of web applications. So we really hope to serve the community in those areas. But I'm always kind of intrigued about, is there an opportunity to leap performance? And not just, hey, can we get a few percent here and there? Maybe we can improve 10 or 20% a year. That's all great. But what if we could leap ahead like 2x, 3x, 4x, something like that? And one of the things we've noticed is a few of the use cases of Node, particularly use cases of Node, and particularly in the API gateway area, can be very I/O bound. And so we're working on a network acceleration idea that we'd love to collaborate on further. And so the idea is to kind of eliminate some of those networking bottlenecks through some really innovative things that we're working on with Node. So we'd love for you to come check out the demo area. We have a booth there. We also have a technical talk at 1:30 this afternoon. Suresh Srinivas will be talking more about these things. Finally, link. We'd like to really link up with you as the open source community. Really try to collaborate as much as we can. We've collaborated a number of different communities, and we think that we have some really great opportunities to work together. So I encourage you to check out this Node.DC benchmark and join us for the technical session at 1:30 that Suresh is going to be giving. So thank you very much. I don't like to be standing in the way of a bunch of hungry developers in the coffee break, so thanks very much today.